Hey YouTube, this is Randy Brown here, and I've got quite a few videos to do, and this one is going to be top 20 things you did not know about in movies. Now, if any of you know me, I was a film major in college. I graduated, got my bachelor's in film and video. Like, I am part of the 5% that stays after the credits, you know. And if you watch a Marvel movie, please, please, please stay after the credits, because they always have like a little clip. Like, for example, every Avenger that was in the Avengers movie has a little snippet after the movie is over and the credits have run. And if you watch Avengers, there's a little snippet in the middle of the credits, and then there's another snippet at the end. So the first thing I want to talk about is The Dark Knight, and then I'll go into The Dark Knight Rises and so on and so forth. So one thing, here are two really cool bits of trivia that were kind of like a nod of what the villain might have been in the next one. Now, if you look at the guy who had the bomb implanted in his stomach by the Joker, if you look at his scar looks like a very familiar punctuation symbol, with the belly button being the question mark, and obviously that was a nod to the Riddler. Okay, and another thing you might want to notice is the person who was blackmailing Batman. Do you remember what his name is? His name was Coleman Reese. Now, if you look at Batman Forever, you know, they named the Riddler Edward Nygma. And if you look at his name, it's Mr. E, Mystery. But what about Coleman Reese? Mr. Reese. Mysteries. See, get it? Cool, huh? And then if you watch the Dark Knight Rises trailer, the one where they have all the crowd around football and they're holding up signs, and you know the field explodes, and then that one football player turns around. Here are two cool things. Okay, one, if you look at the R in the Gotham Rogue sign, it looks like a very familiar Sidekick symbol. Okay, and another thing, if you watch the Batman '60s show, you know that the people who play Batman and Robin are Adam West, Batman, and Burt Ward. Now, if you watch that football player come at you and look at him turn around, you read the name on the back of his shirt, and there's a cool little nod to the '60s series. And I won't tell you what it is, but when you see it, you'll freak out. Okay? And then, like, now, here's the thing. Like, directors, really good directors, will put in hidden stuff, like in-jokes and little pieces of trivia. Like, for example, one of my favorite directors is Quentin Tarantino. Now, if you watch his movie Kill Bill, you will see, well, in the first 10 minutes, for example, you will see nods to his first three movies. Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, and Jackie Brown. Now, the Reservoir Dogs connection is one of the characters complains about their code names. Like, Vivica Fox goes, Black Mamba. I should have been Black Mamba. And the character complains about his code name in Reservoir Dogs, Mr. Pink. Why do I gotta be Mr. Pink? Because you're up, get alright. And then in Pulp Fiction, Uma Thurman goes, don't be square, Daddy-O. And then she draws a little square with her fingers. Now, if you look, there's a part where Uma Thurman says, if I wanted to get revenge on you, I have to kill your father, your mother, and your husband, and your daughter. And she said, that'd be about square, Bernita. That'd be about square. So there's the nod there. And then if you look at the living room that Vivica Fox and Uma Thurman are fighting in the first scene, it's the exact same set that was used as Samuel L. Jackson's house in Jackie Brown. It's the part where he goes, how do you live in all this? And the lady goes, live in what? She goes, live in this, man. This is some repugnant truth. Okay, now, you know, Quentin Tarantino, he's not the only one who uses these kind of tactics. Another good one is the Wachowskis in their film The Matrix. Now, in the Matrix, there's tons of references to Alice in Wonderland and Alice Through the Looking Glass. Okay, now the reason Keanu Reeves follows these people to a nightclub is because you turn around and see the white rabbit on her back. She's got the white rabbit tattooed on her back, so he's following the white rabbit. And then later on, Neo touches a looking glass and it becomes a part of him, and that's like going through the looking glass. And then in the very next scene, he's falling down the tubes. Well, what does that tube look like? It looks like a rabbit hole. And, you know, Morpheus even alludes to this. I bet you feel a little like Alice, tumbling round the rabbit hole. And, you know, the Wachowskis aren't the only ones who uses the nod to Alice in Wonderland. Another one of my favorite directors is Paul W.S. Anderson. And he has a few nods to Alice in Wonderland in Resident Evil. Now, if you look at the first one, the name of the computer that is killing everybody is the Red Queen. And what is the Red Queen always shouting? Off with their heads! Off with their heads! Well, in one scene, a laser cuts through a SWAT team member's neck and decapitates him, so it's off with his head. And does anybody out there know who the main character of Resident Evil is in the movies? That's right, it's Alice. And, you know, and going back to Quentin Tarantino, like, there's tons of other, like, little bits and nods in there. Like, for example, the first time we see Ving Rhames, his character Marcellus Wallace has a Band-Aid across his neck. Now, there's a lot of theories on why this Band-Aid was there. The truth about it was to cover a scar that he had got from shaving his head. But everybody thought that when you look at the suitcases that open and the golden light shines out, one of the theories was that when the devil removes your soul or steals your soul, he steals it out of the back of the neck. Hence Marcellus Wallace's Band-Aid over the back of the neck. And everybody thought the golden light in the suitcase is Marcellus Wallace's soul. That's one explanation. And also, another theory to back this up is the number to open the case is 666. And then Quentin Tarantino is also a Elvis fan. So, and Elvis wore an all-gold outfit at a few of his shows, and another theory was, oh, it's Elvis's gold suit. Another theory is that it's just a light bulb. But another theory is that it's just a light bulb. So, and then if you look, and I just said Quentin Tarantino is an Elvis fan, and if you look at Kill Bill again, when the bride like kills that nurse, she puts on the glasses, and the glasses are the same kind of glasses that Elvis used to wear, and the glasses that the bride wears is also the glasses that Clarence, Christian Slater's character in True Romance, wears, which Quentin Tarantino wrote True Romance, if you didn't know. And then finally, there's a part in Pulp Fiction where, you know, it was cut out where Uma Thurman says, you're either a Beatles man or an Elvis man, and then later she goes, an Elvis man would love this joint. But as far as the Beatles go, the Beatles' signature costume or signature wardrobe was a black blazer, white shirt, white tie, and black pants. Now this shows up in a lot of different movies. For one, Reservoir Dogs, and two, Pulp Fiction. It's the suits that Vincent Vega wear and Jules wears. Okay, now the reason they were wearing all black suits in Reservoir Dogs is so that, you know, when people try to describe them, you know, all the Reservoir Dogs kind of look alike, so they'd say it was the man in the suit. I was like, okay, the cops are confused. They're like, well, which guy in the suit? There were like 5 guys in a suit. It's so you couldn't tell them apart, so it'd make more difference. It would make more, it would be harder to separate the 5 people in a lineup, you know, so I can't tell which one they wore. They all wore suits. But going back to The Matrix, Keanu Reeves was in a movie before The Matrix called Johnny Mnemonic. And guess what he was wearing? He was wearing the same Beatles suit. And then the next movie he did after Johnny Mnemonic was The Matrix, which was also a mind-bending computer movie. And in The Matrix, the people that were giving Keanu Reeves crap were wearing the Beatles suit. So the Beatles suit is very popular. You can see it in tons of movies. And I didn't number these. I probably should. Maybe when I do the captions for this, I'll put in the numbers. But basically, that is 20 pieces of trivia that you did not know about movies.